Thank you very much. Kia ora everyone and welcome to the inaugural Parks, Reserves and Environment Subcommittee meeting. Are there any apologies for the meeting? We do have one tabled from Sue Davis and Mia Bruce Smith, who's an apology for the meeting. Are there any other apologies? If there are none, is there someone here to move that those apologies be accepted? Move Councillor Neil.
Over there.
Someone second that?
Yep.
Passes. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? Resolution's carried. Kia ora everyone. It's a nice big warm welcome to our members. For some of you first time sitting in the chambers or sitting around the table in the chambers, so a really big warm welcome to you all. Just some procedural things before we get underway. This is the first time we're all in the room together, so very soon we'll do some introductions. But in terms of housekeeping, Simon.
Yes, so some of you may or may not be familiar with the building. If there is an emergency, fire emergency, follow the exit signs to the nearest exit. We have floor wardens that will coordinate the evacuation process. If we have a large shake, drop under the desk and just hold until it stops, and then obviously react. And from there, we'll guide you through that process. And toilets are just through around the back. If you're looking for toilets.
Cool. Thank you very much, Simon, for that. Are there any questions on health and safety? Okay, cool. The declarations of interest. So, as being circulated, there is a paper interest register as well as an electronic version that's on Microsoft Teams for councillors, and it may have been emailed out to you as well. That interest register is where you make known to the committee, or the subcommittee, sorry, any interest you have that outside of this that may impact or affect your ability to participate in discussion or votes in relation to any matters that are discussed here. So that's just circulating, and that's a procedural matter. I think the format for today is introductions, an introduction to each other, an introduction to our senior staff and our staff that support this subcommittee, and then it's an introduction to our kaupapa or our work stream. So there's 4 agenda items as presented to you all. But our intention then is to have those spoken to by the Chief Executive and our Group Manager District Assets, that then close and go into workshop, where we will then discuss potential work streams, projects, key activities and ideas going forward. So it's just an overview for today. Without further ado, I'll hand over to Biddy Manera to take the floor to tell us about yourself, Biddy, and big hi.
I'm Biddy Manera. I live in Ross. I've always lived there for 61 years, and I'm quite involved in the community there. I have been since I was about 12, volunteering and doing a lot of projects that no doubt most of you know about. Do you want me to mention any of them? Yeah, the Chinese Gardens, Iwi Memorial, Community Green Space, Tramping Tracks. I'm involved in the Ross Information Centre. I'm the secretary there. Ross Church, currently trying to raise funds to do it up, and get into a wee bit of trouble with some of the things that I push for, but it's all good for us, and make sure we involve kids in what we're doing. I'm secretary, treasurer and project manager of most of those things that we're doing. That's about it, really, from me.
Welcome, Biddy. It's great to have you on board.
I'm Donna Beard, and I've lived in Hokitika most of my life. Born here, but then went away, then came back. I'm a mum. That's probably my most important job, and a wife. And we have a business in Hokitika called Glory Days Urban Pedals. Have been a dairy farmer for 23 years, up until a couple of years ago. And my heart and passion is Hokitika and Westland. So I enjoy everything I do each day here.
Well, thank you, Donna. I suppose I should go. Kia ora everyone. Let's carry on. Let's go this way and then we'll go to Pip and Rob on, so go last.
Kia ora koutou, Joe Parsons, from Westport originally. In terms of, I teach outdoor ed, mostly up at the Polytech in Greymouth, in between chasing around after a few littlies, chair at the Patika Primary. Generally kind of outdoors recreation, engaged and interested.
Thanks, Joe. Okay.
My name's Kate. I'm 19. I've lived on the coast my whole life. Just recently come back from being away at boarding school, working here full time. I like getting involved in the community in regards to CBD and people my age and coaching and everything like that. So yeah, I've always loved being involved in heaps of different things. So I'm just keen to get involved in everything really.
Cool. Okay.
Well, I'm Riley Burden, grew up out the valley on a dairy farm and moved into town sort of when I left school, and now a rural postie, so most of you probably see me on the road. Heavily involved with the Hokitika Lions Club and especially at the moment the redevelopment of Lazar Park, which is something we're trying to really push along and get going. A number of other community projects, just love being involved, and seeing things through. So it's me.
Thanks, Riley.
Yeah, I'm Jane Neal. Unlike most of the ones around the table, I was born in Canterbury and lived there for the probably first 20 years of my life, and then moved over to Okarito and lived there for about 25 years, now up in Ruatapu. Yeah, always been very passionate and loved getting out into the outdoors, anything green, wide open spaces. So, and I'm also a counsellor, and keen to see what this committee can do and what we can drive forward.
Good, thanks very much, Jane. And with the marvels of modern technology, we have joining us via Zoom live stream is Pip and Rob. So Pip, I'll hand over to you.
Okay, I've lived in Hokitika for about 45 years, and Michael and I live at Mananui and we've got a small farm. I'm just recently retired, but I'm a crazy gardener and I've been doing some gardening up at the Heritage Park. I go to the gym. I'm involved in the Kauai project, which is the planting out of the new hospital, and I check a trap line for Doc.
Kia ora, thanks, Pip. Rob.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Seems like there's no escaping. I can't even escape going to Wellington. My background is council staff for 20 years, a decade ago. I sat around the council table on the Reserves Committee for much of that time and was involved in preparing the original Reserves Management Plan. So quite a lot of background, but my current interests are Heritage Hokitika and the Westlands Industrial Heritage Park, and I guess to a lesser extent Lake Manipua and the reserve out there. So it's like Hotel California, you can check out, you can't escape.
Can't even fly to Wellington. Thanks, Rob. It's my pleasure to welcome you all as chair of the committee. I'll hand over to our chief executive to introduce himself and then to his team of amazing support for this committee.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone. Simon Bastian, Chief Executive for Council for the last 2.5 years, so pretty fresh in local government. I come from a 25-year background in dairy manufacturing. As the last role I had was with Westland Milk as General Manager for the operations there. So I bring a lot of skills around more to do with capital projects, operations and execution of stuff, making things happen dramatically. Local government's been an eye-opener in terms of understanding what goes on and what doesn't go on in public life. But getting my head around it all, fast learning process. So yeah, no, I'm enjoying this. Just to set the scene in terms of the committee structure. So with this new council, this triennium, what we're trying to achieve is a lot more integration with the community, and through committees with both internal and external stakeholders, we can actually get a lot more, I suppose, integration and buy-in of a way forward. This will lead also into the long-term plan development as well. So It's the first step in terms of a full consultation process. So having a consultation at this level helps us with the next steps into consultation with a larger and wider group. So learning what we need to do as council for our parks and reserves and monuments, etc., is quite critical. We will take that on board and actually work towards that as part of long-term plan development. So I'll hand over to Emma to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Emma Ray. I'm the Strategy and Communications Advisor for Council. Do communications and the long-term planning and planning, that type of thing.
Hi, I'm Louis Sparks. I'm District Assets Manager and also recent arrived at the coast 4.5 months ago now. So I'm still trying to find my feet and understand which is where around. Really enjoy living down here. My background is waste management, so I've been capital projects manager for a large corporate waste management company in both in New Zealand and Australia. So that's my background. We're excited about the position and the role in the, especially the challenges for us down here on the coast.
Hi, I'm Leslie Crichton. I'm the Group Manager of Corporate Services. So that's finance, IT, business planning, and also sits under my banner as well. I've been here for nearly 6 years now. Qualified accountant is by trade. Yeah, it's
And a new Kiwi.
Sorry?
And a new Kiwi.
I'm a new Kiwi, yeah.
Kia ora koutou, Te Aroha Cook. Been in the Cornwall town of Victor for the last 18 months, absolutely loving it. 26 years in local government, so prior to relocating to the lovely West Coast, it's in sunny Hawke's Bay, Central Hawke's Bay and Byron. It's a bit of a culture change weather-wise. Thankfully this year is much better than last year in terms of weather events, so really.
Kia ora koutou. I'm Sarah Brown, the Community Development Advisor. I work with the different townships and township development funding and several other committees just as a support person. Love Hokitika. It's so much better weather than Otago.
Cool, thank you.
Diane Maitland, so Executive Assistant, so I work with the Office of the CA and the Employee team that helps out all the governance functions for committees and council. Started work with Hokitika Borough way back when for 6 months and was taking some cemetery records, then moved to Western County Council, and on 1st November 1989 we became Western District Council. So yeah. And then for a wee while I was involved in the Waterra Cemetery as a trustee and the Waterra RSA as well as some months. Thank you.
I'm Megan Smith. This is my 4th day. I've recently moved here from Hammer Springs, where we were involved with holiday home management, a lot of strong administration background. My husband took a job here, so we've come this direction, and we'll see how we go.
Thank you, everyone. It's great to have the subcommittee here, but then also start to see anyway the connections with how this can this subcommittee can be supported by our executive team and our senior staff to execute on the intentions of this committee. Thank you. I don't think I need to introduce myself at this stage. Any urgent items not on the agenda from any of our staff, seeing or members? No, we will have the opportunity to also workshop at the conclusion of the meeting too. So if things come up and you'd like to discuss them, just make a wee note and we can discuss them after this formal agenda as well. Okay. In keeping with our agenda, the 4th item is the introduction topics. And there's 4 of those on the agenda. And the first is the racecourse master plan. And I'll hand over to the Chief Executive to talk to that.
So thank you, Chair. I'm actually doing this on behalf of Fiona Scanlon, our planning manager, who's taking the lead on public council to work through a master plan for the racecourse. So she's giving me some bullet points, and I'll just read through them and take questions at the end. So we're at the point where we're actually developing a discussion paper which will outline a series of options for the racecourse with some virtual aids as well. Then there will be a workshop with this committee in terms of those discussion documents, and we'll work through your thoughts on those processes and layouts and take that on board for further refinement. Then we're planning to have a discussion paper to be presented from this to the October council meeting for approval prior to proceeding to special consultative procedure. We just have to highlight that this process, any work we're planning to do with the race will require special consultative processes, because we want to make sure we get it right and that everyone in the community has buy-in in terms of what the future looks like in that space. So we'll have a document prepared for consultation at the beginning of October. Public feedback will be considered in December with an intention to present the final document to council in January. Following the document being prepared, approved under the LDA, changes to the district plan may be required also, and will be instigated in the early year. So at the same time, we're doing a district plan review. So all those changes will be included in the district plan update. Obviously, this all leads into long-term plan process as well going forward. So quite exciting times. I just want to make some comments around the racecourse. We've got an MOU with the racing club that predetermines some work that we've got underway at the moment. We've made commitments to the RDA in terms of seeing that process being worked through. Obviously, the boys club, boys brigade area is also has a long-term lease on that land as well, so they're pretty long-term residents of that piece of property. But we haven't just closed our eyes on what the potential is up there, so we're open to all sorts of interesting ways of utilising that land. Obviously, it all has to be affordable at the end of the day as well. So I'll open up for questions through the chair. Any questions in regards to the racecourse master plan?
I wonder if it might be helpful to just give an overview of what for the members, what you mean by special consultative procedure and long-term plan in your plan.
Yeah, so obviously, this we see as a strategic asset for council. Any development up at the racecourse will require public insight and public steering direction. If we are going to develop it to a usable piece of infrastructure, that will require funds to be committed to it. And that process is linked into the long-term plan where we lock it in as part of future works for council. So to get to that point, we need to understand what the community wants. So that's what part of the special consultation procedure is. We'll prepare a document that goes out. It's a requirement to be up for 30 days as a minimum. The public can provide feedback, submissions on that proposal, and then we would, as council, would review those submissions and make any changes that make sense and actually work in with the long-term objectives. So it is quite an open and transparent process. But at the end of the day, there needs to be a locked-in future plan once that's, not everyone will be happy, obviously, with an outcome, but it's around the majority, unfortunately, taking us the way forward. And we're working as close as we can to the stakeholders. One thing to bear in mind, whatever happens at the racecourse may have other effects on other parcels of land, i.e. Cass Square. I'm not saying that if, it's preordained, but if we decide that events sit better at the racecourse, it takes pressure off Cass Square in terms of sports field allocation and impacts on that. that obviously has an ongoing effect. So what we do there may have ongoing revisiting master plans for the other uses of reserves. So it's sort of a moving subject at the moment, but this opportunity has landed on our doorstep and it's about making the best use of it.
How much land is actually up there?
Oh, physically, I'm not sure exactly the land footprint, but it's about 5 K squares in size. Put it in context.
It's a very hokey.
Yeah.
28.
28.
Look, Kiwi using it here, so.
And Simon, some financial money coming back as well.
So we were fortunate that Racecars handed over, I think it was $200,000 to utilise in terms of both master planning and future works for the racecourse. So we're very, very fortunate to have that in our accounts. Obviously that's set aside purely for the racecourse development. We haven't gone external for any master planning. We're trying to do as much in-house. We may require some professional support when we get close to a development planning. But at the moment, we've held tightly to that money. The only thing that's been spent on at the moment is to continue to maintain the racecourse to its good standard. We're quite fortunate to retain some of the racecourse people doing that on our behalf.
Are there any further questions on the racecourse master plan at this stage? We do have a workshop coming up on that to inform that discussion paper, so there'll be a calendar request coming some stage in the future. Thank you very much for that report, Simon. We'll now move into the next, which is the Hokitika Town Centre plan.
Yes, it's obviously, this has been carry over from previous training. We had a working group called the CBD working group with the last council. We believe that under the terms of reference, it best sits with this group at the moment. There's a bit of a crossover between this group and the planning and regulatory committee as well. So, but in terms of the working backbone of the work will be done through this committee. And Fiona Skinner is also taking the lead on this on behalf of the council in her role as planning manager. Obviously working very closely with the district assets team, but she's the lead for council. This also fits into the work of the one district plan as well, and will fit into that piece of work as well. I've got a few bullet points here from Fiona. I'll just read through them. So there's been a vast amount of work and information has been gathered over years from various community groups and drawing on the development of a discussion document. So the town centre plan will include design standards, colour palettes, conceptual upgrades and improvements. So more or less predetermining what the town should look like going forward, rather than the ad hoc approach to the way we approach it. It does not include at this stage Sunset Point in the beachfront development because that plan is already previously locked in from previous work. The intention is to stop ad hoc development, achieve parking and traffic management goals and pedestrian walking zones, and to ensure the template for town help us to work to. So when we're working on developing future works, it's already helps that template of work. Ideally, this discussion document will follow the same timeline and workshop approach, document approval process as the racecourse we previously mentioned, to enable the same timeline and same process to be followed. So rather than regurgitating and starting from scratch, there are so many reports on what the town should look like in community group engagements of the past. Once again, we're trying to do as much of this internally rather than spending a lot of money on consultants and design work. We don't have a very vast budget for this, but we're trying to get this to a point where we can do a workshop with this group and lock it down to go out for consultation. So we have parking plans already, we have concepts around traffic management flows. There is obviously some strategic land, strategic zoning that's happening with the master plan as well, in terms of the types of industry or types of business we want in the township area, which need to be taken into account as well. So once again, I'll open up for any discussion points. I don't have anything to share with you right now, other than this is the current status.
Has anyone got any questions to the Chief Executive regarding the Hokitika Town Centre plan? Bearing in mind we will be workshopping that within the coming months and working towards the same timeline as the racecourse consultation with the public. There are no questions. Thank you very much. We'll carry on with the agenda. The beachfront and Sunset Point report. Where we start? Group Manager, District Assets. Lily. He's going to go on up at the.
You just got to go.
Afternoon all. So Sunset Point construction work is happening at the moment. We've got, currently we've started the work on the roadworks. The curbing for the area will commence next week. It will happen in 2 stages. So the first stage will be next week, and then following week after there will be a second stage. So it'll pretty much either side of the Tambo, those works will commence. At this point, the toilets have been purchased. Currently, there's work being completed for the power and the plumbing to the toilets, which is a mobile toilet, so that building will be moved across. It's currently in the yard of West Roads, sitting ready to go. So once this first stage of the project is completed, there's the opportunity for us for planting in certain areas around the area. So that is the next stage of the project. And the intention is to plant it out with just robust hardy plants in grass. Also, you'll notice down there, there's quite a amount of soil, most of it coming out of the minor 10 excavation. The mount is growing, as we say. That will be shaped into sort of dune shapes, and that is to enhance further the beachfront area. With regards to the beachfront itself, there's no further work planned for the beachfront at present. There is new waste bins have been placed along the beachfront. We've now fixed up the parking areas in the past 12 months, and there's been some minor works around tree planting and so forth. So any questions?
Does anyone have, any committee members have questions regarding the beachfront at Sunset Point update?
Just through the chair, just to make a couple more comments. This development is real 50% funded by the Tourism Infrastructure Fund, so about $500,000 approximately was allocated to this project. So, and if we didn't get the amount of earth or works that has all been pretty well donated for free, up there would have cost probably 3 or 4 times that price. So the amount of donated material that's gone into building up the and protecting the Sunset Point is quite substantial. So we can thank all the contractors and all the people that have provided free material over the last 2 years to build it up to what it is today. One other comment I'd like to make is we are working with the fire brigade in terms of their practice area. I would be quite keen to pull that back as part of the reserve as well going forward, to make it quite a large area and develop it into future space. So we're working alongside them in terms of looking at a new home and relocation for them, and they're receptive to the idea as well. So potentially there's an ability to make a natural amphitheatre there as well, with quite a large seating area. So that's some of the earthworks could be utilised in creating that as well. So, early days, but we've got a potential home for them. Just got to work through that with them.
Is the planting plan available for people to see?
The planting plan hasn't been formalised yet.
Okay.
We can share that.
Okay.
Would you like that as an action, but we can forward that to the relevant committee members when it's developed?
Yep, that would be really good.
If there's any, suggestions in terms of planting, we're more than happy to take those on board as well.
Okay, no, that's good.
Pip, is this something you would want to be involved in?
I would be quite interested in that, yes.
I wonder if we might put that as an action. People comfortable with that?
Yep.
Thank you very much for that update, Simon. Are there any questions?
Yeah, where does the beachfront, where does the area end in terms of what's considered?
Under the design, or the last design, was just to the north, where it stops by the car park.
The end of the rock wall there.
End of the rock wall.
Right. Where does the rock wall, where does that integrate into the beachfront plan? Is that part of, or is that something set up with a different department? Or?
Well, it sits with a different council, unfortunately.
Right. Okay.
But in saying that, there's been an announcement yesterday for further funding for sea and river protection for New Zealand. Westland itself has got a quite substantial part of that. There may be some work assigned to the beachfront as part of that, which we are working through with the regional council shortly. But just waiting for confirmation of what that scope of work actually is from Wellington. So, but potentially that rock will be enhanced even further. We're hoping. But there are further options around the beachfront which we can explore as part of the long-term plan as well.
Are there any other questions? Thanks for the update, Louis. I think just from me, I think it's fantastic Sunset Point's being upgraded. I think beachfront, the significant issue is maintenance. And I think I always harp on to Simon and his team about maintenance, but we're building new things, putting new toilets in. They have to be maintained, they have to be kept clean, and they have to be looked after. And I think that's something that we'll obviously be discussing as part of our work stream here, but that's just something to bear in mind and that comes at a cost. So we might be getting infrastructure funded or part funded, but we will need to be paying for them to be cleaned, otherwise they don't get done.
Noted.
Yeah, so we have that noted.
I noticed at the end of Weld Lane, there's been the 2 extra poles put in, so is that to actually link some more lights through there?
Yes.
I know we talked about that last Christmas.
So that is exactly what it's for, so that enhancing, I suppose, the entrance.
Yeah, through.
It should look, yeah. There's a lot more we could do if we had more money. It comes down to cost versus reward.
Yeah.
And once again, it's about having that overarching master plan, not only for beachfront and baseball, but all of our reserves. It requires quite a bit of work to actually develop that, but each reserve should have a very strong management plan and master plan as well. And each township should have a development plan and master plan that goes with it as well. It's all in my radar, but it's going to take some time to get there.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Great. Thank you very much, Louis, for that report. And the final one for the meeting is the Gibson Key Heritage Circuit Action List.
Yeah. Thank you, Councillor. And just a quick, I think, just on this through, I think the action list is quite historic and it's happened quite some time back. My team's confirmed that all the action items have been completed. What I would like to add to the action list though is the lighting for Gibson Quay is the next action for council to proceed, and that will be LED lighting, heritage lighting, and also the lighting poles will be replaced in cabling. So we have just been executing the contract for that work, and that will be probably commence in the next 3 to 4 weeks. So through the chair, I suggest that we can basically strike before the action season is there. That's all completed, and we can start a new action list and is required.
Like that last sentence, yes. Cool, thank you so much. That's great to hear. And I think that's to give some context, this was an important piece of work around the Toru Whenua launch down at Gibson Quay that happened earlier this year around ensuring that that area was up to safety standards as well as presentation standards that we'd expect of a heritage area. So thank you to the volunteers here at Hokitika and the groups that got in behind that, and council staff, officers for the work, and their contractors to get that delivered, because it was a pretty special launch, and yeah, great job, so thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair, what I would do recommend is that, like Louis has stated, we do develop a new action list with Heritage Hokitika group as an action. There are further enhancements in that space that we're quite keen to develop, and obviously that will lead once again into future planning work. There is some major structural issues down there with regards to undermining of certain parts of the walkway that we have to address.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much for the reports. And we are at the conclusion of the meeting now. This is someone could move that we receive the verbal reports.
Yep.
With Biddy, seconded Councillor Neal. All those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? The resolution is carried, and I'll declare the meeting closed.